Hello and welcome to the Big Bang Theory podcast. My name's John. I'm here with my friend and colleague Dan.
Hello.
Dan, welcome back. It's been an action-packed week while I've been away.
Yeah.
It's all been happening.
A lot's gone on.
So much.
I was a bit down on our chances.
Yep.
But we've done really well.
Brilliant start to the season so far.
Yeah, not bad. Took about less than 30 seconds to get the campaign underway.
So City's first game, as you alluded to, was away at Wickham. City took 900 supporters and we were ahead within the minute.
Yeah, 28 seconds, I think, or something like that. Debut goal for Jack Aitchison.
Yep. Takes it lovely.
Yeah, really nice finish. Caught them by surprise, I think, a bit, obviously. Sort of a pump-up field, wasn't it, from the back?
Yeah.
I think Sweeney, possibly.
Yeah.
One of them lads. And I think it's Mitchell it ends up with, and then he kind of finds its way to Aitchison, who cuts inside and sticks it in the bottom right hand corner with his left foot.
Classic bunch of Wickham supporters just trailing in. Got pasty in hand or whatever. See the goal go in.
I'm sure plenty of people missed that first goal.
Then there's a shot of the man in the their setup's kind of like City's, and there's a man stood at the kiosk, and he looks and sees the goal go in. This is all on the film, and he obviously thinks to himself oh well, I can take my time now. I've missed the thing, but no, another goal within the next 2 minutes.
Yeah, is this a Wickham fan at the kiosk?
Yeah.
Presumably, just
He's probably 10
dashing
seconds
his
away.
Chips over the side or something.
Goes back out the gate again.
Yeah.
I'll never forget. Was it Norwich? And they lost badly first game of the season, and they had a really good season, didn't they? But there's that man who marches down. Yeah, it was Norwich because Brian Gunn's the manager. Remember this? And he heaves his season ticket at him, rips it up and throws it at him.
I remember. I've seen plenty of season tickets being ripped up. Is this when Delia went mad on the pitch?
No, it was way later than that.
Right.
But this man was livid. So I felt for the Wickham supporters. But yeah, it was 2-0 definitely within 5 minutes. So apparently not exactly City's best ever start, but basically as good as.
Right, okay. There's historically a better one, is there?
Kwame scored a earlier goal, I believe.
Oh, right. What, on the first day of the season?
Yeah.
Okay, wow, all right.
But marvellous.
Second goal, Tom Carroll corner.
Yes.
Sort of, no one gets it away.
There's a mess.
But we have about 3 goes. I think Hartridge, then Zach Jules, and then is finally poked in by Will Aimson.
You can't believe it. He puts his hand up. You notice that when he runs away once he's scored, he's like, yeah, it was me. Hand up. Not like Shearer, yes, I've scored.
Oh, just sort of going that was me.
Honestly, that was me. I've scored, Mum. He doesn't get many, does he, Aimson?
That's his first goal for the City, apparently.
Yeah.
I thought he'd had one already, but he hasn't, according to Wikipedia.
Bosh.
And then he did a knee slide.
He did do a knee slide.
But you've got to make the most of it, I suppose. Probably if you're someone who doesn't score a lot of goals, you haven't necessarily got a celebration planned out.
No.
Knee slide is the classic.
I'd never do a knee slide. A, for fear of Robbie Simpson-esque. You've
Falling
seen that
flat
one?
on your face.
Flat on your face.
Yeah.
And B, think about the friction.
Especially right at the beginning of the match, those pitches are watered up, aren't they?
I can't think past the friction on my knees.
No, I think I'd do one.
Would you?
I'd be like I'd be like my 8-year-old self at the Stoke Hill Middle School disco.
Is that what you did?
So everyone's doing.
Everyone's doing that. Yeah,
that's how you impress girls.
Everyone knows that.
You wouldn't dream of dancing with one.
No,
but you got to show them. You got to show them what you're made of somehow. So see if you can knee slide the full hall.
What's that about? Look how strong my kneecaps are. /
No, I think it's just it's universally looks cool. Okay, doesn't it?
Sure. Well, Aimson embraces it.
Professional footballers are nothing if not overgrown schoolboys. So, they've never really had to live in the real world.
Wow.
Not strictly true, probably, but, and
you've said it now.
Yeah, so probably Cotton Eye Joe's playing.
Yeah.
I'm wearing a red spliffy long sleeve top, which
Good.
I've borrowed illicitly from my older brother. He doesn't know I'm wearing it.
Does he know now?
Well, he does now, because if he listens to this.
Sorry, Tom.
And green gravity jeans.
Lovely.
Looking like sort of 90s Christmas. And knee sliding across the hall.
Sure. That's
In
good.
my mind, I did the full length.
In your mind.
Yeah, but who knows? There's no one had camera phones in those days.
Any girls who are now women who remember this happening, please do get in touch. Were you impressed? Question A, were you impressed?
What, by me specifically,
Yeah,
or by anyone doing this?
No,
at a
by
school?
you specifically.
I mean, come on, there's no women listening to this full stop. Let alone ones that I went to school with in
we never know.
1993.
We're not entirely sure who listens, but we know you're out there. We've dropped out of the Ukrainian football podcast chart this week, I'm afraid to tell you.
Oh, have we? Well, they got
Bizarrely,
bigger
listeners,
fish
we're
to
sometimes
fry.
in it. So there we are. If you're listening over there, fair play to you.
If you're from the Ukraine, or
Yeah.
Ukraine, as they now like to be called,
Yeah. I think they've always liked to be called
right,
that.
whatever.
Yeah.
Were knee slides a thing over there?
Mm.
Like, is it just a British thing, or is it?
Are you doing it now to show Putin what you're made of? You're not trying to impress girls anymore. You're now trying to stick one up to,
Yeah,
Rusky.
just whatever. Is it done? Is it something that happens? Maybe people do it at weddings. I don't know.
Anyway, we nearly went 3-0 up in the first half because...
Yeah, it was about 15 minute mark. This
yes.
was, wasn't it?
Who was it chopped down? Mitchell?
Mitchell taken down by the keeper.
Yes.
I think he got injured in the process, didn't he? Because he came off shortly after
That's
that.
right, he did, yeah.
But anyway, Nombe steps up for the pen.
Doesn't score.
No, he kind of goes down the middle, doesn't he? And the keeper goes a bit one way, but isn't far enough that he can't put a hand out and keep it out. Not the best penalty, not the worst. Is Nombe a good penalty guy?
He's not got the best success rate, has he? I haven't got the numbers
Well,
to hand.
I suppose it was always Giovanni last season that took him, wasn't it? But
I wonder...
well, who took him in the second half of the season? Maybe it was Nombe.
I feel like Nombe missed one second half of the season. I can't remember now. I wonder if that'll be the end of his penalty taking. Because, of course, Sweeney was penalty taker in days of yore.
Surely now, with that luxury midfield we've got, someone's better than Sweeney to take penalties, aren't they?
We say that, but he was taking the corners at the weekend.
Yeah, not particularly well.
No. Anyway, so Nombe missed. So we go in 2-0 half-time.
Yeah.
Second half, Wickham are a better team. I mean, we were all over Wickham that first half, weren't we? They're better second half, but the game's done. I mean, we just need to... Well, obviously there's no pressure on us. We're 2-0 up. If we can defend well, as we're seeing is something we can now do.
Well, Alex Hartridge at one point, like unbelievable kind of defensive header away, comes across and just like and let's give credit to the farmer's son where it's due. He's been excellent, back to his Beckenbauer best.
I'd like to show him at County Show. I'd put a rosette on him any day.
Well, the Chagford County Show's coming up. Perhaps we could take him out there. He's got these. I mean, he's obviously they've done all the new season photographs and whatnot.
Yeah.
And there's a very strange photo of him pointing at the camera with his hair all down.
Yeah.
And
best in show.
Best in show. Yeah.
Yeah, I think I'd put a rope around him and parade him round the ground, wouldn't you? Round Chagford.
Yeah. Of course I would. Yeah.
Of course you would. So it was 2-0 for a significant part of the second half, and then we finish it off with aplomb. And aplom's name is James Scott.
Yeah.
Much maligned.
James Scott
By the way,
Renaissance.
much maligned, doesn't he, at this point in the season? Pre-season, people are getting on his back for no reason at all.
Well, he's been much maligned since he started, and
Yes,
I feel a little bit vindicated. But I'm not going full told you so yet, because not just me, plenty of people were like, well, he obviously doesn't look fit. He hasn't played much. This was last season, second half of last season. He never really got a massive run. He's had a pre-season now. He looks good, and he looks fit, and it's paid off. He had two. So we'll come on to. He also scored in the next game we'll talk about. But yeah, he gets the third goal in this one.
Well, it's an absolute screamer.
Yeah.
If you haven't seen it, it's well worth watching. Gets it down, edge of the box, and runs with it slightly, and then.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
it kind of falls to him, doesn't it? It's a bit of a kind of. I think it comes off of one of the Wickham players,
That's
but
right.
it kind of falls to him. But it's a great finish.
3-0.
3-0.
Very successful first day of the season.
I mean, yeah, I like we said last week, I would have been happy with a point there before the match.
We weren't expecting much at all, were we?
No. and all of us fixtures, the opening few. So it's Wycombe in the league, Wycombe,
Blackpool, Portsmouth.
Blackpool, Portsmouth. That's tough, isn't it? On paper. I mean, we've already got 4 points from that.
Yes.
Yeah, pretty good. We had the silver kit on. I thought that looked smart.
Yeah, it did.
And we got to see kind of the first look at the kind of new Gary Colwell side, isn't it? And
yep.
It was you can see what he's going for now. There's a few remnants of the Matt Taylor's team left, but not a lot. And like the way we play is very different. It's a lot less in the way of long balls. Not that Matt Taylor's long ball. I suppose what I mean is he's at the Taylor's was a lot more direct. This is a lot more patient.
Yes.
And like possession based.
Yep.
And we've now got the kind of personnel to do it. I think we struggled at the end of last season when we didn't have Kevin McDonald, because you need players in the middle there who are going to be able to keep the ball. And now we've got, I think, improvements in that particular skill set in the middle and in those areas that you need it to be.
I mean, that midfield four looks very good, doesn't it? It looks very good.
Very extra, isn't it, the midfield now?
Carroll, Trevitt, particularly them two, but also Aitchison, and then whoever's playing that other position, whether it's Scott or Cole or whatever.
So far, we've seen Scott and Cole in those two as well. And I think possibly due to some shifting around, there was also Harper in that position at one point.
Mm-hmm. He looks good too, doesn't he?
During the Crawley match. He does, yeah.
A bit rawer, perhaps.
Yeah.
But obviously he's come from Eastleigh or Yeading or wherever it was.
He was Eastleigh, yeah. Yeah, I mean, this is encouraging based on the fact that this team's only just been put together.
Yep.
And it's only had a couple of run-outs competitively. It's looking good so far, though, isn't it? And
Absolutely.
I think we're well organised. We know what we're supposed to do. There's a few squarish pegs in round holes, perhaps. But, I think they're more than capable of, getting it together.
So then Tuesday comes and it's the Carabao, Crawley in the Carabao.
Yeah.
And
This is the good one, if you're thinking, what cup is this? This is the League Cup.
This is the League Cup that very quickly turns into good teams.
The Coca-Cola Cup.
The Rumbelows Cup. The Milk Cup.
Yes.
Yeah.
The Littlewoods Cup.
Yeah.
Other sponsors.
Can't remember.
Yeah.
Anyway. So Crawley took the lead in this one, didn't they?
They did. Yes.
You were there for this one.
So there's weird, slightly strange circumstances around this. Obviously, we'll come on to the refs being bad. Not so much in the Wycombe game, actually. But
he's one of the better ones, isn't he? Charles Breakspear.
Yeah.
Which, by the way, is a tremendous name.
Yeah, I think that would be my b-boy name if I was, into breakdancing.
It would be my, novelist. I've written a racy novel about, not to get back to Jilly Cooper.
Oh, yeah, Jilly Cooper style, yeah.
Yeah, Charles Breakspear.
Yeah.
Carry on.
I'd read that.
Many would.
I can't remember what I was talking about.
Refs. Crawley. They went 1-0 up.
Yeah, good, wasn't it? So what happened was Sweeney got injured.
Yes.
Or, hurt.
Yes.
So he goes off for treatment. And in the meantime, they get a corner. But Sweeney can't come back on because the new rule is if you have treatment and have to go off, you then have to wait 30 seconds before you can come back onto the pitch.
I don't even think it's if you have to go off. I think it's you have to have treatment on the pitch. So
yeah. So if you have treatment on the pitch, you have to go off.
Yes.
That's been a rule for a while.
Yes.
So you have to go off, and then you have to wait 30 seconds before you come back on.
Yeah.
Now, this is all in the name of combating time wasting, right?
Yeah,
which it may well discourage. But more often than people going down to time waste, is people go down because they are hurt.
Yes.
Which most of the time won't be their fault. It's a foul on them, for example. So more often than not, you're being punished for having a foul committed against you by having one of your players not allowed to come back onto the pitch. In this case, while the team that committed the foul or caused the injury are allowed to have a offensive set piece, which they score from in the exact position that the player who's not allowed to come back on would have been standing. It's just a lot of these new rules, like we said before, don't really... aren't perfect, and this is an example of that being true. And I was just like, this is so annoying. And Caldwell got booked, I think, as a result of it, not for the first time and not for the last.
Was that did he get booked at Wickham?
I think he did.
So that takes him to 2 bookings in 2 games.
Well, I don't know. Maybe it's 3 and 3. I can't remember
now.
exactly.
Well, he got 3 on. He
Yeah.
got 3rd
So,
on Saturday.
So that was annoying because it was really against the run of play, and over the course of the 90 minutes against Crawley, they never looked like winning. We took our time to kind of put the game to bed, and ultimately it was just kind of the way the match played out. You'd expect Exeter to win, which we did.
Nice to see Kyle Taylor get a goal, so he got the equaliser.
Yep. I mean, Ryan Trevitt is magnificent player.
We've done very well to get him, haven't we?
I think whether or not people were wondering if he was like kind of ready to make the step up from Brentford B, playing with David Beckham's kid.
Yeah. He looks young as well, doesn't he?
He looks very young. Up to League One, yeah, he's fine. He's absolutely fine. I know that was playing against a League Two team, but in the League One games, he's looked good too. He's so good. He turns on the ball incredibly well. His through balls are like as good as anything Giovanni Brown could do. I don't know if he stays. Presumably, we hope he stays fit. If he does, if he can be them, I think he'll be such an important part of our season, and probably that's where a lot of our goals are going to come from. Lovely pass for Sonny Cox, who'd also come on, and then Cox pulls it back for Kyle Taylor, who scores consecutive. That's goals for him in consecutive competitive home matches, but there's a year and a half in between them.
Yeah. Well, great to see him back and scoring.
Yeah, tearing about.
Yeah.
Every time he turns, you're kind of a heart's in your mouth thinking he's going to snap in 2, but doesn't look like he's actually going to.
Let's hope not. And then we got the winner, and it's another James Scott.
Another James Scott, and an assist this time from Trevitt, who you think should maybe pass it out wide. So I think to Rankin, who's to the right of him, doesn't, and then clips his cross back, like kind of, a kind of almost reverse cross, and then James Scott diving header. Loving it.
Loving it. He's loving it.
His smile, look at that smile, is cheeky, isn't it?
Yeah, he's enjoying himself, isn't he?
Yeah.
He's had a tough old time, I suppose, and he's delighted to be somewhere and playing and feeling like it's worthwhile, I suppose.
Guess so, yeah.
So that takes us to the second round of the Carabao. The draw was the next day, and we're home again.
Yes.
And it's another glamour tie, Stevenage.
Yeah, so this one, all the Premier League teams came in, bar the ones that are in Europe.
Yeah.
We didn't get any of them. It's also split north and south, so we could have had Tottenham, Chelsea, Palace, Fulham, etc. We didn't. We got Stevenage at home.
Mm-hmm.
But we haven't been to the third round of the League Cup for an awfully long time. Someone said something about the 80s, so I don't know if that's true. But haven't fact-checked it. Don't know. Maybe it's true. But
winnable.
It's very winnable. Stevenage have got a terrible record against us at St James Park. It will mean they're League One now, aren't they? So that'll be the third time. We'll be playing them 3 times at least in this.
Yes.
Nice
to have a home game, though, isn't it? That's a big
I think
factor.
them at home, we should get to the third round. And then who knows who we'll get then, because then everyone's in.
Everyone's in, and no north-south divide, is there?
Yeah.
And we'll
still end up with, something crap. But
yes. Imagine it'll be a Oxford or Swindon, won't it? Or something like that. Anyway, we'll see.
Yeah. So that's them 2 games covered. 2 wins from 2.
2 wins from 2. Lovely. Everyone's suddenly optimism levels have increased dramatically.
Yeah.
Then it's home to another. I said definitely a promotion.
Oh, I'll talk briefly that in this Crawley game, Tom Carroll didn't play.
Yes.
Rested. So's Aitchison. I think Aitchison maybe a little knock, but anyway, they both didn't play. Reece Cole did play. Very good at set pieces.
He is good at set pieces.
I'm not sure he looks quite up to the. He's a little off the pace, perhaps. The quality around him, he's not quite up to that in play, but we'll see. He's maybe it's early days, but his set pieces are brilliant.
Yeah, they
got
really
that kind of shape on them of someone who actually looks like they know what they're doing.
Yes.
And and against Crawley, he put a few on a plate for some of our players, and Czech Diavara, especially one moment, should have done a lot better with one of the great crosses he put in. But that's a good weapon to have, one we haven't had for a while.
Yeah.
See, I can't try to remember who was on corners last year, and I think it was sort of Josh Key or Archie Collins mostly.
Wasn't it? Yeah.
And we didn't do anything from set pieces last year. It was pointless even having corners. That's almost what it felt like, wasn't it?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah,
I think we were better with throws.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree.
But yeah, just wanted to point that out. That yeah.
Good to see.
Cole.
Andy
Cole.
So then it's Blackpool at home. Saturday just gone.
Yeah.
So they are promotion hopefuls, aren't they? Certainly came down from the
Championship last season. Yeah. So this manager they've got, he hadn't been there the whole time.
But he
left.
used to be, didn't he? Yeah.
So he was their manager when they beat us in the playoff
right.
final, and Will Aimson was playing for them that day.
Yes.
But he'd then gone off to Villa to be Gerrard's assistant.
That's right. Yeah.
And then found his way back. He's back as manager. But
was me assuming, he's been there the whole time.
Yeah, but they've still got, I think they've still got a squad that I think is like a lot of them were with them last season.
Yeah.
Championship. I know they got relegated, but Championship, and we gave them a good game, didn't we?
Oh, absolutely. What we looked like. I mean, compare and contrast. Last season, you feel like we're always going to concede here. But maybe like Giovanni and Nombe can score more goals than we're conceding. But this year, it doesn't, so far, feel like it's going to be a foregone conclusion that we're going to concede.
Yeah. What I like about it is, and it's noticeable, is that I think Gary Caldwell is a kind of ideologically driven man. He thinks, this is what I'm doing. This is the way I'm doing it. I know there was some talk about adapting to the opposition, and I still think we'll do that, but he knows how he wants to play, and he's set up a team to play in a very specific way. He's bought the personnel to do that, like we talked about earlier, and we're just sticking to it. And it was two very similarly matched teams. The way Blackpool played, the way we were playing, it's very, very similar. They abandoned it late on when it wasn't working. We didn't. We stuck with it. We carried on playing the way we did. I mean, a little bit more aggressive in the second half. So first half, there was a lot of Exeter City back and forward along the back line. That's how possession football works, and there's a lot of people around you on the big bank getting quite upset around the fact that we weren't hoofing it into the channels, and instead waited, passed the ball back to the keeper, back to Hartridge, back to Aimson, to Sweeney, to across to Mitchell, back again. Occasionally a little ball into Carroll or to Trevitt, whatever. Back it comes out again. Just didn't in the first half we didn't create much, and the times we could get it to the midfield were few and far between. There's a few balls down to the trying to find the wing backs. It wasn't really happening. But in the second half, we stuck to it. We were a little braver. We got those players who have like Trevitt and Carroll. They want the ball into their feet. They don't care that there's players all around them. They feel like they can do something with it, and they can both turn on the ball and pick someone out. Blackpool abandoned it and started trying to hoof it in behind and go long, and that didn't work for them. And I think we were definitely the better side in the second half.
Yes.
And we didn't really have much chances. We didn't test their keeper. Blackpool's defence is excellent. They really kind of snuffed out any threat we had down the wings. Like Rankin had a lot of the ball down there, couldn't get much of a cross in. I think he again looked excellent but quite raw. But he's up against really good fullbacks there, or defensive players, and they did a really good job of keeping us out. We did a good job of keeping them out, and it was Sinisalo's save that saved the draw for us, really. Even though we were the better side in that team, they found themselves. They pick a guy out on the right-hand side down at the away end, and it's 1-on-1, and Sinisalo just legs it out at him, closes the angle, and saves it. It's the main highlight from the match, really.
Yeah, brilliant save. But it did feel like second half in particular, and it's Caldwell said in his interview, didn't you? We showed them what to do differently at half time, and that was clear.
So that's interesting, that he said he showed them clips at half time. Yeah. So he's a modern football man. That's what we've got here, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. Yeah, using the technology that's available to him. And
That's what I like about Caldwell. He's come with a reputation that wasn't particularly good, but he is someone who is embracing, he is rejecting tradition, embracing modernity, isn't he?
He is.
Like he's a futuristic man
and in
a futuristic world.
Yeah, sure, he is. Who's still determined to get as many yellow cards as possible by bellowing at them.
That, in a way, is he's like not up. That's the bit of the future that he's not happy with.
Did you hear him say in the interview as well? Like, well, I'm just gonna have to change what I do on the sidelines.
Yeah, but he's also saying, like, I'm a passionate man. What can I do?
Yeah.
I mean, I feel for him. I hope it will settle down. The way they're doing this kind of like these refereeing decisions, it usually does.
By September, it'll be back to normal.
Because like that's the PGOL or whatever they're called. Like, right, we need to do this, and then they go like, they haven't thought about it properly. It doesn't work. They have to dial it back, and you hope a few things get achieved along the way. I hope that some time wasting does get sorted out.
Yeah,
I'm not, and maybe hopefully there is a little bit less abuse towards officials. It does look a bit weird, doesn't it, when that's going on? But I mean, Caldwell's just. I mean, that's just how footballers work for a long time. So it's going to take a while in it to readjust, and I feel like they should be allowed to express dissatisfaction, and it's going to happen more in League One, isn't it? Because the refs are absolute shit. Like the ref on Saturday was seemingly fine in most of the match, and apart from every now and then would just make a completely insane decision.
Yeah,
this was for us and against us.
Yeah, it was. Yeah,
there was one foul on Aitchison, and I think he gave it the other way.
Yes, that's right. Yeah,
it was just mad. Like and
so that Scott one.
So these new rules might work if the refs are perfect, but they're so far from that.
Indeed. Anyway, a point was a very good result. And, I think we should be well pleased with that.
Yeah, and I thought I did for a 0-0 in which we had very few chances. I was like really quite impressed and pleased with the result at the end of the match.
Absolutely.
And I suppose that's more seeing for the first time at home live, seeing our first 11.
Yes.
It's a pretty strong side against Crawley, but seeing our kind of like league side go out and do what they're about and seeing it, and I was thinking, I really like this. It's
No, I agree.
It's great, isn't it? Tom Carroll, an absolute Ferrero Rocher of a player.
Yeah, but so's Trevitt. Like,
he is too.
Like there've been some years, haven't there? We've been like, well, we've bet the house on this player. That's the one that's gonna. If they can perform, we'll be fine. And then they go and hit a woman or whatever. And then you're like, okay. Whereas I feel like here, there's so many good players in that team. And some of them we own. And some of them are on loan. And some of them will only be with us a year. But it feels like we've got enough of an array of arrangements and players and types of player that actually we're only a couple of players away from having a really excellent squad.
I think you're right, and that came about quite quickly, didn't it? But I suppose that again is some of that's gambles, and gambles that look like okay, so far they've paid off pretty well.
Yeah,
and you have to go like, okay, fair enough. Caldwell knows more about this than a random person on the internet who's actually never even heard of this player before.
Yeah,
me basically. But yeah, it's really. It looks like I think we still need a couple, don't we? But
yeah,
we'll get to that in a minute.
Now, talking of changes in the squad. Foulsey, been the pre-match announcer for years.
Very long time.
Consummate professional. Smooth as you like. The new fella...
Yeah, so he retired at the end of last season.
Fair enough. Was on co-commentary, apparently.
Yes. Yeah.
The new fella seems to be mixing it up a bit. Doing some things a bit differently.
Well, yeah, the first thing I noticed was on Tuesday is that he's so enthusiastic. The sound of his voice.
Yeah.
It's so kind of like Radio Devon style.
That's exactly
not
what it is.
radio presenter kind of voice.
Yeah.
But it was
Gemini
making me
FM.
jump every time he spoke, because it's like in the past it was like substitution for Exeter City, and he'd be like substitution for Exeter, but I got used to that. But then I think he's like reading the way he announces substitutions. Like it's like the syntax is like like it's not the classic English order of words.
It feels like he's cut up all his words, thrown them in the air, and then glued them back together.
It sort of goes like off for Exeter City, number 9. We haven't got number 9.
Yeah.
Number 5,
Sponsored
Alex
by,
Hart. Yeah. It's all in a really bizarre order, and then the one coming on will be in a different order. I'm sure he's the best person we could get to do this, and
sure he'll come good. I like his enthusiasm.
I definitely like the enthusiasm. You got to embrace change. That's what Caldwell would say.
I think he needs to be shown back a few clips.
Is it a real person? Is it an AI?
Oh, it could be AI.
I was trying to see if I could see anyone holding the mic.
Confusing, isn't it?
Because they said,
who wants to do this? And the guy said, hey, I'll do it. And then they've appointed an AI person.
It could be, yeah. Maybe he's AI.
Next time, listeners. Next time,
maybe he listens to this. Probably not, but you never know. Are you AI?
Are you AI? AI, are you?
That's the order he'd say it in.
Listeners, when he starts talking, count the pause between the number of the player as he rapidly flicks through his team sheet.
It's got to be on the bit of paper, hasn't it?
Number 10.
Is someone coming here?
Sam Nombe.
Oh, yeah.
Sponsored by RGB Scaffolding.
Anyway, give him time.
Oh, I have.
He'll probably...
He's made me give him time.
We'll be talking about him in 20 years, going like, I can't believe...
If I'm still doing this in 20 years... if I haven't got an AI person...
We won't be saying it on this, but we'll be saying it to each other.
Oh, I hope so. Hope we're not dead.
No, I won't be dead.
No, we're more alive than ever. Thank you, AI.
Yeah, we may well just be data on a memory stick.
Yeah.
But maybe that will be the new alive. You know, none of us will ever die. We'll all live on in the form of...
an old memory stick at the bottom of a drawer.
Yeah. What
Lovely.
do they call them? Thumb drive.
It's the way I'd like to be remembered.
Yeah. I'd like to live on forever, for eternity, as data. I mean, to be honest, we'd be quite easy to reanimate.
Yes.
As artificial intelligence.
Are you saying I look half dead?
No, because we've now recorded so many hours of this that the computers have got enough of our vocabulary, voices, everything that they could have us say anything already. You know, if someone wants to deep fake us right now, there's so much out there. You could do it perfectly, and we could be hearing ourselves saying all sorts, going, I didn't say that. But someone's deep faked it. We haven't protected any of this stuff. It's all downloadable.
Oh dear.
So, but that's the negative side. The positive side is if one of us were to, God forbid, pass away, our loved ones could do that themselves and use it as kind of like, so we could live on, and then they could just be, you're not there, but a laptop is.
Yes.
And your wife says, John, what are we going to do about the kids' college, university? And then you'll be able to answer. It won't be you, but it'll be your voice.
Saying...
And your opinions and thoughts.
It'll be saying, have you thought about playing Randall Williams further up the field?
Yeah, I mean, maybe slightly limited to stuff that might have to sort of reference, but maybe you could use, I don't know, Exeter City references to assist in the rest of life.
Yeah, that's right. When my children speak really quickly and never leave any gaps, be like, why do you do that? It's the advice our dad gave us about announcing names on the pitch.
Yeah.
And we haven't got any advice about how to speak normally, so... Yeah, well, something to think about when I do depart.
Yeah, well...
Reanimate me, please, listeners.
Yeah, well, it'll be easy to do.
All right. Anyway, more of this nonsense shortly. Welcome back to the Big Bang Theory. Or is it? Or is it just an AI? Big AI theory.
You'll never know.
Big Bang AI. You'll never know. I mean, these jokes are recycled year on year, so whatever.
We're sort of doing a new podcast soon, aren't we? The Little Bank Theory, a spin-off of this.
Was it going to be a reflection on our jokes?
No, it's just a review of the previous podcast.
And are we going to review it ourselves or get completely different people?
No, we'll just be talking about what we talked about.
Good.
That's coming soon.
Is that what people do?
I don't know. We're not really going to do it. I just
No, but I mean, like,
making a satirical comment about the amount of Exeter City podcasts that now exist.
oh, there are quite a lot now, aren't there? We're still
We're number
nothing.
one.
Are we? I mean, we're still here.
Number one in my mind.
And mine. So
But this is the only one I've ever listened to. So
there you go.
who can say? Anyway, up
Don't tell
next.
us. No, don't tell us. We don't want to know. We
Really don't want to know.
want to carry on blithely.
I want to know about whether you've done a knee slide in the Ukraine,
That is the
but I
kind
don't
of
want to know about
information.
anything else.
No, that's right. That's keep
But
it.
what's next? Tuesday night, away at Portsmouth ground, Fratton Park.
Fratton Park. Lovely old ground, as we always say. Live on Sky Sports.
Across the Solent,
Yes.
where you'll find little Jack Sparks.
Yes.
Been
Playing-
mainly
plying his trade.
coming off the bench, I think,
Has
so
he?
far.
Has he? Okay.
So I imagine we'll see him, won't we? He'll want to show us. He'll want to teach us a lesson for not starting him every game.
Yeah, do you think he will?
Yeah.
Him and Colwell had a bit of a to-do, didn't
I
they?
don't know if they did. Did they?
Well, they had
What
Sparks
happened?
wasn't happy being
What
taken off,
happened
was
yeah, but no players ever get happy about getting subbed off in the first half when they're
Mo
not
Salah.
injured.
Yeah.
And he, I think, sort of hit the roof of the subs bench or whatever.
Not literally hit the roof. Oh no, literally hit the roof.
Literally and metaphorically, but I
Yes.
don't know if he actually. I don't know if that manifests itself into actual argument with Colwell or not. I think anyone would be annoyed to be subbed off in the first half when they weren't injured. But anyway, that's live 7:45
Yes.
tomorrow night, Tuesday, on Sky Sports.
Do you know who their manager is now? Man with a curious name.
Well, yeah, it's the guy that he hasn't had any managerial experience,
Yes.
right?
He seems to have named himself after a. If I give myself like a manager's name, maybe people will trust me.
Oh, yeah, what's he called?
John Mousinho.
Is this sort of a bit like Aladici?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
He thought his real name is John
Morris. Yeah.
And he's gone like, well, no one's going to take me seriously as a football manager if I'm called that, are they?
Yeah.
So I'll change it.
Yeah. Like, also, like, you get people, don't you? whose
Do you know
name-
what? I actually used to do this when I was playing Championship Manager.
Oh, yeah.
When I was a kid. If I was sort of doing one where I'd be playing as a manager of an Italian team, I'd stick an I on the end of my surname.
Would you?
Yeah.
Daniello.
Yeah, I'd go Danielle and then yeah.
Yeah, fair enough. It's more the kind of thing you do with like nearby kebab houses to football grounds, isn't it, or whatever? Or like, you give it the name of like, I know kebab house is the wrong idea. But if like you're near Manchester City and you're selling pancakes, you call your shop Crepe Guardiola,
Okay, right, yeah.
that kind of thing.
Jason Donovan.
Yes. So maybe that's what Mousinho's done.
I don't know. He's the manager. He signed Jack Sparks.
Yeah.
Where are they? They're doing quite well, are they? Portsmouth?
Oh, that's a good question, isn't it? Well, obviously they're always favourites because they're such a big club, aren't they?
Well, yeah. FA Cup winners, Premier League, Harry Redknapp, Nico Cranshaw,
Been
all
a
that.
while though, hasn't it, lads? Well,
I think they've been absolute dog shit for quite a few years now.
They beat Orient at
and
the
also
weekend.
it's okay, and they're quite badly run, aren't they as well?
I'm not sure actually.
I don't know. Anyway, probably
They beat Mourinho 4-0.
They drew with Bristol
No,
Rovers
what
on
am I
the.
on? They didn't beat Mourinho. I've lost my mind. They beat Orient 4-0.
Okay, and they drew 1-1 at home with Bristol Rovers on the first day of the season.
So we're basically on the same amount of points so far.
We are. They're sixth. We're seventh. 1 goal difference between us.
They got some quite good players,
Yeah, Jack Sparks.
That's not what I mean. But like, I was looking at it earlier. But thingy, what's him called? Rafferty. Is that his name? Yeah, Joe Rafferty.
Jerry Rafferty. Yeah.
Yeah, from Baker Street.
Yeah. Where have they? Isn't he from around here? No.
Yeah,
No. Jerry Rafferty isn't. He's Irish.
the guy that wrote the song.
The guy who played the
The
sax
sax.
on that song. What's
Yeah.
his name?
Can't remember.
Come on.
Knew his son,
Did you?
Yeah.
What was his son's name?
Luke.
Surname?
Forgotten.
You fill while I look up Baker Street on Wikipedia.
All right. Baker Street in Hevertree, of course, is what it's named after, I'd imagine. Do you think?
I don't know. I'm looking this up.
All right, okay. Yeah, so Jerry Rafferty's playing in the midfield for Portsmouth. which is, fair enough. Sean
Saxophone
Raggett,
riff.
he's the other one, isn't he? Raggett's been
Played
around a long
by
time.
this is it. It's in addition to the searing guitar solo played by Hugh Burns, Baker Street featured a prominent 8-bar saxophone riff by session musician Raphael Ravenscroft.
That's right.
And he was of this parish.
Yes, he was.
As you're obliged to say on podcasts.
I've got no recollection at all of a guitar solo in that song.
Rafferty claimed that he composed the hook with the original intention that it be sung, but Ravenscroft remembered things differently, saying that he was presented with a song that contained several gaps. And then he said, Ravenscroft said, if you ask me, did Jerry hand me a piece of music to play? Then no, he didn't. So, bit of bad blood there between Jerry and Raphael, but he's no longer with us. So.
Do you even know
Jerry
how this goes, listeners? Are you even aware of this song, Baker Street?
Are you going to sing it?
That's how it goes.
That's not exactly like that.
It's exactly how it goes.
Everyone knows Baker Street. Why is it saying "ya" the saxophone?
That's how saxophones go.
I'd say it's more of a da 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 da. That's more like it, isn't it?
Prefer
I mean,
mine.
yours is better. I will give you that.
Bit of gusto.
You've given it some, and I've bottled it.
Isn't that always the way?
Yeah, it is actually.
Yeah.
So anyway,
Well, if we can get another point here,
oh yeah.
absolutely outstanding.
Oh, hang on a minute. Just
What?
quickly back to Baker Street.
Oh yeah.
We could have that as our song, couldn't we? Couldn't we adopt that? That's enough there. The guy who did the main bit that people know about the song, the sax riff, don't do it again, is from or lived in Exeter. Could you turn that into a chant? I think you've just proved that you could.
The city.
Yeah.
What would the words be? Something like Coldwell's yellow card.
You could just do it like you did, without any words.
I'd like that. It's about time we had our own.
Or why not get a sax up there?
Now we're talking.
We've got a drum. Why not sax as well?
Mm.
That'd be funny, wouldn't it? I mean, it would make us a laughing stock. But...
Well, it's like that awful trumpet whenever England play, isn't it?
Oh yeah.
You don't want to be that.
No, you don't want to
Out
do
of
that. But it would
tune
be quite
playing.
funny if we only ever did Baker Street on it. I'm not suggesting we sort of like do Careless Whisper. Or
Yeah, you could join in on no, don't join in. Just do it for that one song.
Yeah. Anyway,
Get it, yeah. If you're willing
I'd
to
be
do
really,
that.
like you said, I'd be pleased with a point. Are you going to watch it on Sky
Yeah,
Sports?
yeah. Gonna do me £10 for the day.
Oh, of course, that's the way of doing it, isn't it?
The Now TV,
Yeah.
which annoys me slightly. I don't know why.
Because it's a rip-off.
No, not that. It's not as good as if I'm paying £10. Yeah, I suppose that's what I'm annoyed about. If I'm paying £10, I want it to be better quality than it is. Because it's always like the streaming quality is a bit annoying, isn't it?
Oh, is it?
Is for me.
Right. I suppose you're probably on a little bit of a delay
I suppose that's what it is.
compared to like if you've got Sky Sports being
Turn your phone
pumped
over,
into
everyone,
your
because
house.
your live score will ding up.
Yeah. Yeah, big time. Anyway.
There we are. Well, we'll be back, though, won't we, after the Pompey game?
Well, yeah.
Because there's still some signings coming in.
There is.
None confirmed.
No, but there's can I still remember it? Ilmari Niskanen.
Close enough.
Ilmari Niskanen, I think is what it is.
From Dundee United.
From Dundee, obviously.
This is some excellent Twitter detective work by some people on Xweb and Twitter, I think, who saw that some Dundee United supporter had a photo with the fella saying good luck at Exeter.
Right, okay. Is that where it came from, is it?
Yeah, I believe so.
Right.
But also,
So
there have been rumours already.
he's a bit of a kind of think he's like a left winger.
Yes,
and
but can play either side, apparently.
Right, yeah. So he's another Finnish international.
Yes.
So a bit of national...
Confusing is it when you finish your international career for Finland.
I suppose it is, yeah.
Finished as the Finnish international.
Yeah.
He's still going there.
A friend for Vils.
Yes. Sinisalo.
Yeah, a friend for him. And then, obviously, Jay Stansfield still hasn't gone anywhere yet. He was on the bench for Fulham at the weekend.
Still the rumours.
So that, you never know. And the rumour for his teammate, Luke Harris,
Yes.
who's like, I think, more of a kind of attacking midfielder, maybe
Yes.
kind of slash attacker, carries on. That one's been going on for a few weeks, that we might be taking him on loan. And then that's come back up again this morning on Xweb via a Twitter account from someone called Darren Whitcoop.
I mean,
I don't know
if
what
ever I'd heard a more solid source.
I don't know what Whitcoop knows. He's assistant sports content editor at Reach PLC / Sunday Mirror Sports News editor.
Oh, okay, that's real.
So, yeah, there you go.
Whitcoop. We hardly knew ye.
Darren Whitcoop, thanks for the scoop.
Good.
What sort of name is that? Whitcoop?
Well, it's not his fault.
Change it.
What would you change it to?
He says he's Welsh. Is that not? Change it to Jones.
Sure. Crack on.
About an eyelid.
Don't even worry about it. Whitcoop.
Cheers, Whitcoop.
Cheers, Whitcoop, and to all you Whitcoops listening.
Yeah.
We'll be back Wednesday
Yeah.
with Tales of
We'll
Franston
barely
Park.
have time to listen to this before the next one's
So
out.
get on with it. What are you doing? Even pausing. Don't pause. Crack on. I mean, you can now because it's finished. Thanks for listening, everyone. My name's John. Been here with my friend and colleague Dan.
Cheers.
See you soon.